ay. My thoughts may ricochet, venti and vindicate. I want juice. Vision eviscerate, inchworm from being great. That bitch gon' sing today.
Guess who's back? Back again. Jordan's back. It's actually podcast 23.
Shout out to the YouTube comments last week. Such an easy thing to jump all over me for, you know, saying the wrong title of the podcast, the wrong number with going into the whole Jordan thing, and no one took the low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
That's a very YouTube thing to do, and no one did it. So shout out you guys.
Well, the fact that you went into it and made a metaphor about it and everything was
is what it is.
It's more than just getting the podcast number wrong at that point.
What, you're mad that I gave people great content instead of just saying the number?
Already shots fired. All right, it's actually podcast 23. I am back. I am your host, Mo T. I'm here with Packy.
Dope.
It's great to be back.
How was the bachelor party?
You know, it was very, what you would expect a bachelor party to be. Very, it was like my bachelor.
Very bro-y?
It was my bachelor party round 2. That's what it was.
Yeah, you guys went to the same.
We literally did the same exact shit. We even golfed the same course that we did the second day.
Nice. Did you have any good weather for the boat?
We lucked out one day. It kind of cleared up. It was a little windy though. That kind of sucked. But
word.
We like to play a lot of the yard games up there, like the bags and the.
Did you play that frisbee game?
Yep.
That game's fun, man.
But dude, it's so hard when it's windy.
What's that called?
People call it all different.
It's not
shit.
Can Jam.
No.
For those wondering. It's the one where you put the beer can on the pole and you like hit if you hit the beer can and knock it off, it's something. If you hit the pole and it falls off, but the people can catch it. Good game, quality game.
I feel like everybody calls that a different name. So
well, I have no name for it, so.
Well, it was fun. But it's good to be back, good to be on the grind.
Yep.
Good to have podcast topics while Packy doesn't. Boom.
I held it down.
Well,
really felt like a newscaster.
You did a good job. I'm not gonna lie.
I saw a lot of good comments. People seem to like it. I saw one that I said too much, and I would agree. When I listened to it back,
but the thing is, when you're standing there alone, like you're trying to like fill airspace.
Yeah, it
feels awkward to you.
Exactly.
When you don't do
it wasn't even like a I don't know what to say. It was just like I don't want to make a statement.
Space.
Yeah,
that's what
and
it
just
is.
have it be silent.
Yeah,
but
when you're not having a conversation with somebody, you kind of even do that in your head, like that.
Right.
Thing. No, it was good. You really did a good job. It wasn't as whack as what I thought it would be.
I blame Mo T for me messing the video up because I recorded it. I've never even edited a video before. But Mo T set me up. He was like, just do it on iMovie. It should be simple, whatever. And it was impossible to match the audio and the visuals. I would literally match. So I recorded it on video. I recorded on audio, the same session, obviously. And for some reason, when I go back to match the two things that both recorded the same thing, it starts off okay. I matched it up at a certain place and it's okay. And then 10 minutes in, it just starts slowly getting off, which obviously you know what the
frame rate and sample rate.
And I had no idea.
I would have figured iMovie would have matched them up for you, but I guess they didn't. So
we needed to give me Final Cut.
No, that wouldn't have fixed anything because I have a preset for it, but I figured iMovie was for dummies, so they like do it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently they don't.
Oh, that reminds me, I got a kick out of this is Mo T's arrogant ass. What did he say?
Was it arrogant or was it just real?
No, it's arrogant.
How is it
Who
arrogant?
actually says these words? Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I said it's out of your expertise.
No. It was even funnier than that.
What?
Oh, what was
I said it was out of your realm of expertise.
No, that's not what you said.
What did I say?
That's not bad, but what you actually said was even funnier. Oh, here we go. So this is probably at like 12:30 in the morning. I finished the pod and I'm just here trying to fix this one issue forever. I was here till like 2:30 in the morning. But when I was done, I finally got to the end of texting Mo T that night, and it's probably 12:30 in the morning, and I go, well, he goes, it's all trial and error. And I go, well, I keep redoing it and it keeps doing the same thing. And he goes, it's beyond your knowledge base.
Yeah, isn't that what I just said?
Beyond your knowledge base. Who says that?
It is.
But who says that? It's beyond your knowledge base.
Well, you wouldn't let it go, so I had to pull out the big guns.
Sorry, I was trying to get shit right.
Did you YouTube it?
Yeah, I did.
Nothing?
No.
I find that hard to believe.
I mean, I'm not saying nothing exists on YouTube, but I didn't find anything that was helpful. Everything was either like more basic or more complicated. I couldn't find anything on that issue.
It's weird. Whatever. It was fine for like the first like 6 minutes of it, and then I got off base slowly.
But I mean, it's a
surely.
podcast. I doubt many people are sitting there staring at the screen.
I have a question for everybody. Comment in the comments. I've been trying to toy with the angles that we have in this podcast, like switching between the 3 camera angles. Is it worth it, or am I just wasting my time? Because that's literally what takes me the majority of the time to get this podcast out.
Good point.
If you guys actually think that that's enhancing the quality, I will do it, and you guys actually like it and pay attention to it. If not, I can get the podcast out faster if I don't have to do that.
It's not a huge deal to do that, but yeah, the podcast would come out in a more timely manner without doing it.
So if you guys could let me know if that's worth my time or not in the comments, or tweet at me or whatever.
Yeah, that's actually,
let me know, because I definitely want to know. Okay, so first up on my list of topics is the one and only Six God.
You love that.
Drizzy, Drake,
Rogers,
Aubrey, Graham. What do you have to say about
what do you
your anticipation?
You listened to my last pod, right?
Yes.
Did you hear what I had to say about Drake?
I don't remember.
Must have really hit home for you.
Well, I listened.
So
to it,
I'm in a place with Drake where Drake is still Drake.
Yeah, I remember.
He runs shit. He's on top of the game, and I anticipate everything he does, right? So I need to preface it with that. But when I compare it to how I looked forward to Take Care, how I looked forward to Nothing Was the Same, how I felt when he dropped If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, like all those type of anticipations, I'm not feeling it with this one. Is that just because naturally, like I said in the last podcast, if you stick around long enough, you're going to wear out your welcome at some point, no matter if you keep putting out quality product or not. It just happens.
Yes.
How do you feel about it? And what do you think's riding on the album for him?
It's so funny because I actually got in an argument with a couple people at my bachelor party about this. Drake's what would you call it? Like popularity, stardom, like peak or whatever, or like if he's gonna go down in history as like being like that artist, like not even in hip hop. I'm talking about like the artist of a generation type of a thing. Like everybody know, like the Beatles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if that could even happen.
What was the argument? Like what were people saying? And what
they were saying no, I was saying yes. But I think I think his next 2 albums are going to be very pivotal in that. Because I think that he is super fucking close to having that type of nostalgia.
Yeah. I agree with you.
But I do think this day and age it's harder. And I think we expect more of him just because of the era that we're in. No one had to prove themselves as much as people in music do today.
Yeah. And I guess it's tougher these days. That's what's crazy about what Drake's doing. It's tougher these days to just stay on top because there's so many people.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The whole market is saturated. It doesn't even matter what genre you're in. Like, everything is out there. Like, if you're a musician, you can get out there. Like, so the competition is just so massive. And my point is, though, with Drake, the fact that the world just knows about him at the level that they do right now, that's impressive as shit.
I was making because I got to make the drive to New York with Glow on Saturday, and I was making a playlist of non-rap stuff. And as I was doing it, I just randomly, I was on Spotify, and I was like, you know how you can see with bigger artists where they rank on Spotify?
Yeah.
So some of these other artists, I was just clicking on, like, because I'm always in hip hop. I'm always in the hip hop world. So I think of Drake as the biggest thing in music. I think of the next biggest hip hop artist as the next biggest thing in music. And I sometimes forget about the other genres, like the big country artists, the Taylor Swifts, the Beyoncés. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just randomly started like searching some people and seeing, monthly listeners, where they rank and blah, blah, blah. And dude, hip hop is king.
I know.
And like, I knew it was a king genre right now. Like, it's at the biggest it's been in pop culture. But the fact that Drake is running hip hop, and hip hop is as big as it's ever been, and he still has all that crossover appeal. Yeah, I think by the time he's done, I think he will be that artist of a generation.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do. Like, he's gonna be the guy.
If he retired after Scorpion, he'd arguably be that already.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing is, like, he's not too many people that aren't super familiar with like the music scene view Drake as a strictly rap artist, which is like
they view him as a rapper.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
It's like, but that's. Dude, Drake's going to be played at weddings for the next, like, how many fucking years?
Right.
Like, the dude is going to be the Beatles. Like, he will.
Yeah.
Of this generation. Like,
yeah, and when our generation all has kids, right?
Yep.
And those kids go get married.
Yep.
Our generation will look back at all those Drake songs and hear him and associate he's the one.
Back. And I don't even care if you are a huge fan or not.
Right.
You could hear a song from Drake. That brings you back to a time.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you could say that with anything else, but it's like he has so many.
But it doesn't. That's the thing. He does it.
And because so many people relate to it, no matter what type of music.
Exactly. His pool is much bigger than anybody else's, even in history.
Right.
Like, it's huge.
Right.
His fan base is massive.
Yeah. And it's a credit to him, obviously. And it's also benefited him that hip hop has gotten where it's gotten in pop culture. Because it's acceptable now. Like, hip hop always was taboo. Like, you didn't play hip hop at weddings and stuff like that way back.
Right.
Some people did, but I'm saying in general, hip hop is the party music now. You go to a club, you go out, it's hip hop.
Right.
And so, yeah, Drake has benefited from that, but he's also a big reason that hip hop has become that. So it goes hand in hand. But
I had 3 questions about this thing.
Okay.
That about, his upcoming project and even just about his career. And the first one that I had, which is kind of pertaining to what we're already talking about, is how important is the album for the rest of his career?
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, though, that I think this album is pretty important as far as views was great. I don't think it garnered the popularity that a lot of people expected it to garner, though.
Right.
So that's why I think this project is very important for his career. As far as if we're talking about mega superstar for generations to come.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about views, I can't even... There's not one song on there that I'm like, that song absolutely transcended.
Right.
And I guess you could say, like, One Dance is probably the most popular song off that. But to me, just as a fan, I don't look at that song and think,
No.
wow, that was.
But I really enjoyed that album as a whole.
I don't think about One Dance, which was the song off of that as far as just popularity. As far as I remember, I think that was the one. Like,
pretty sure that was the one, yeah.
I don't.
Hype was the other like big single off of that. And that well,
no,
not
it wasn't.
Single,
it was the best. It was probably the biggest one that
the
wasn't
most
a single.
promoted off of the
It was probably
after the album dropped because he did One Dance and he did Hype on SNL. You remember that?
Did he?
Like right after.
But I would say like probably. Don't you think what ended up being the most popular songs off that album were One Dance and Controlla, which were both like very Caribbean pop, dance hall type shit?
Was it Controller?
I would guess so. I mean, Pop Style was kind of a dud for being a single in Drake standards, obviously, for being a single with Kanye and Jay-Z feature or whatever.
Yeah.
He ended up on the album. He ended up doing his own version of Pop Style.
Yeah. I don't know though. Other than One Dance, I think everything else just kind of faded into.
I think Controlla was big. I think, but those were the two. So, anyways, back to the point. I don't consider either one of those. I don't consider them of having the impact that like a Started From the Bottom had.
Mm-mm.
You know,
right?
Or even like a what would have been the one off? Nothing Was the Same. Would it have been Worst Behavior? Well, Hold On, We're Going Home.
Yeah,
that was huge.
Well, it had Started From the Bottom. Hold On, We're Going Home.
No. Started From the Bottom was Started From the Bottom was yeah. My bad. That's Nothing Was the Same. Yeah, that had Started From the Bottom. Hold On, We're Going Home, and Worst Behavior.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So I don't think Views had one of those.
No.
So yeah, from Drake standards, you know, we're obviously, you look at One Dance and Controlla and the numbers they did, and you're like, oh, they did huge numbers. But from Drake's standards, I don't think it was quite what he wanted. And how long he hyped up views.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it was still a great album, though. Like, don't get me wrong, but
I mean, luckily for him, on Scorpion already, he put God's Plan on Scorpion, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So,
and he put Nice for What,
right?
And he put
I'm Upset on there.
I'm Upset on there. Yeah,
but lucky for him, he's got God's Plan already. So when you look back on this album, you're gonna be like, he did have the one transcendent song.
Yeah, for sure.
But so what do you think about the A side, B side, 25 total songs?
So is the rumor, because I was looking at the track list and seeing what songs have already been released that are on both sides, because earlier today, before the track list got released, it was rumored that one side was a rap side and one side was an R&B side.
Really?
Yeah.
I think God's Plan and I'm Upset are on one side and Nice for What is on the other. So it's Nice for What I wouldn't consider R&B, but it could fit fit in that vibe. Yeah. Right. So if he could be doing that, I guess if you're basing it off of that, but
yeah, I saw multiple tweets about that. That one side was rap, one side was R&B.
Looking at the names of the songs, I guess it could be like Ratchet Happy Birthday is on the same side as Nice for What. After Dark is on the same side as Nice for What. Finesse, Jaded, Summer Games. I mean, this is all. And then Mob Ties is on the rap side. Can't Take a Joke is on the rap side.
Yeah.
The Jay-Z features on the rap side. The Michael Jackson features on the R&B side. So, could be.
I think it could be. Drake has a song called Emotionless.
Where?
Number 4 on the A side. Has any Drake song been emotionless? Like ever?
That's funny. What do you think about the A side, B side thing? You like it?
Yeah. I think it's good. I think I'm glad Drake did it. But if you think about it, like, dude, Drake's had a lot of like long projects though. Like,
yeah.
How long was Take Care? That was like
16, 17, something like that, maybe.
I thought it was longer.
Was it?
I thought so.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure.
Views was like 19.
I mean, that's a big track list.
I know.
Like, technically, you could split up his previous projects on two CDs, but
I don't like it. But I'm going to wait to reserve judgment till I hear it, because if it really fits And even like that's a good example. I didn't hear the R&B rap rumors. If it really is like two different type
That's why I
songs,
like it.
yeah, that could work. I could be down with that.
I think that's genius.
Yeah, I could definitely be down with that.
Because there are people like, there's people like us that like both. There's other people that are like, Drake should rap more. And there's other people that are like, Drake should sing more. Right. So you're pleasing everybody.
Right. And that's what I mean. Separating into the two different sides is good rather than mixing it all together and having people just be blah about the album if they, whatever. So I'm going to wait to reserve judgment on it. I don't like the super long albums this day and age. Drake is the only artist
I agree.
Like, Drake is the only artist, though, that I have no issue with sitting down and listening to all that music. But in general, I don't like the super long album. Like, if it's not the hip hop R&B sides, I think he'd be better off just separating into two albums.
Yeah,
like drop another album in 2 months or something.
But that's the genius of it, though, is Drake's not fucking stupid. Like, and that's
I know that's why I'm reserving judgment.
And I think that's the reason why he's doing it. It's
when I see anybody else, when I see people dropping like these, like the Ray Shremmerd stuff, like the triple album, whatever, like all that type of the Chris Brown 6 million songs. Like I don't like that, and I think it's stupid.
No,
I get why they do it with streaming these days and all this shit. Like they play the numbers, whatever. But as a fan, I don't love it. But Drake is the one guy that's like, A, he's shown that he knows what the fuck he's doing. And B, he has the material and the ability and the talent to pull that off. So I'm interested to see. I think it's cool that the fact that he's putting out that many songs, you know, Drake knows that he could put out 10 songs if he wanted to. So he's not the type of artist that's forcing that shit. Right. If he had 10 dope songs and couldn't come up with anything more, he'd put out 10 songs. So I'm expecting quality music. I'm trying to hold off. Like it drops at midnight tonight, and I got to make that drive on like early Saturday morning, leaving at like 6 a.m. or something. So I'm trying to hold off listening to it tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. You're not.
I might go golfing early in the morning and just play while I'm on the course.
Yeah, that's a good vibe. Drake's like, yeah, listen to this side at night driving. Yeah, and listen to this side.
The B side's for
in
golf,
the day
right?
Driving on the golf course.
A side is for when you turn up after you shoot under par.
Wow. So you won't be listening to the A side then?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I'm also interested. Like, I wonder if it'll ever come out how much Drake added to the album after the beef shit. Because you even look at, he dropped God's Plan. The video was him going and giving all this money away. He dropped Nice for What? Very just like ladies anthem for the people. You knew it was going to be popular type shit. And even I'm Upset, I wouldn't put in that category of songs at all, but he did like the Degrassi video. It was all just very like, let's make money, let's get everyone involved, popular, cool. Drake's this mainstream guy. And then this beef shit happened. And I wonder if there's going to be how many records were influenced by that.
I saw this come across the DJ booth though. Do you think Drake's popularity has peaked?
Okay, I'm going to give you a whack answer to this because I'm going to play both sides. Yes, I think it's peaked because it can't go any higher, but it has nothing to do with like he's on the decline, and like he has nothing left to, or it's not like when an athlete hits their peak, right?
No, that wasn't the question though. Yeah, I get it. Like
peak of popularity, you're saying, but not peak of talent.
Yeah, exactly.
How could he get any bigger?
I guess I was thinking about it, and my gut reaction was, I think
he's been at his peak for a couple years, and he's just staying there.
My gut reaction was, I mean, I don't know how anyone could get any bigger, but then I started to think a little bit deeper into it, and I was like, well, that's like saying like Drake has reached everybody that he can reach.
Everybody in the world is a fan of Drake.
Or has just made a decision.
Right. No, I mean, but that's what I mean. Okay, technically, he could raise his popularity, right? But when you're talking about someone that has 1 billion fans, if he goes and gets 200,000 more fans, it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So technically he'll gain fans and popularity, but it's like, at what point does it not even fucking matter anymore? Like,
well, I think he's to the point where it probably doesn't matter. I think the only thing that I will say is it only matters in his what do you call it?
Legacy?
Legacy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But to me, it's less is he at his peak and more how long can he sustain this peak? Because I look at the peak of, like I said, you got 1 billion fans. If you go up and down a few 100,000 each year, whatever, with each project, but you maintain that steady peak, which I think he's done for the last few years. Like I think he climb, and he's at the peak, and he's been there, and he's staying there, which is just as impressive as the climb. Yeah. And it's just going to be interesting to see how long he stays there. I don't know. I think the part of how assessing how long Drake can stay at the top is looking at the landscape of music. Because remember when, Drake was at the top, and maybe it was like 2 years ago, and everyone was looking at Kendrick.
Right.
If Drake was ever not going to be at the top, Kendrick was the guy.
Okay.
But I think it can be seen now, and all the big Kendrick fans and Drake haters are going to be like, oh, he is better. I'm not talking about better. I'm talking about biggest thing in music.
Have you ever looked at... Oh, sorry.
Like, let me finish my point, though, and I want your opinion on it. Like, I see no one out there that can challenge Drake right now.
No.
So even if he actually takes a slight step down, like let's say Scorpion is kind of like Views, or even if it's a little worse than Views as far as just being received and popularity and all that shit, right? He's still going to be... Who's taking him down? Somebody has to be on top, right?
Right.
So if it's not Drake, who is it? It could, like, if Drake really falls off, Kendrick could take him. For sure. Kendrick's the guy. But other than that, I don't know who it is. And Kendrick, I think Kendrick has already been through his big come up, and not that he can't get more popular, but if he was going to get more popular than Drake, he'd be there now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So we'll see. I mean, I guess you almost got to wait till Drake really fucking falls off, or I think Drake's going to retire on top. I talked about that on the last podcast. I don't think we'll see Drake just like fall off and someone overtake him.
No.
But we'll see. What you had something you wanted to bring up.
So I'm looking at Drake's Spotify line since 2015.
Spotify line?
Yeah, his stat.
Oh, like his graph?
Yeah.
His chart.
So his streams and everything like that have really like gone up and down, like dramatically, but have kind of peaked at the same number. But if you look at his followers on Spotify, it's a steady incline still.
That's crazy.
And it has even...
Actually, that's not crazy when I think about it. You know why?
His graph has gone drastically up since the start of this year.
Well, yeah, I believe that. A, Spotify and streaming just keeps getting bigger. So, and B, God's plan was massive with streaming.
God's plan was huge.
So obviously that's going to be the case. But you know what else and why his numbers are probably the way they are on Spotify? When streaming started getting really big, Drake went with Apple Music. He was a big Apple Music guy.
Yeah.
He premiered stuff on Apple Music. He did started the whole OVO radio stuff. Some of his stuff, he always put his stuff on Spotify, but early on there were times where there were days where you could only get his stuff on Apple Music, and then the
whole Views push was
right. So that's what I'm saying is it's no wonder to me that that's how it would look on Spotify, and it doesn't necessarily mean Drake is getting bigger worldwide. It just means his Spotify is getting bigger.
Right.
You'd have to look at his overall because Spotify is getting bigger. Drake's using it more.
Right.
So
true.
And then lately, if you just look at the last 6 months, the God's Plan push is crazy.
Yeah, like really went up.
Yeah.
After that, but should he diss Pusha?
Yes. I mean, we've been preaching that.
He should on his album, even though he hasn't officially responded.
I mean, it won't be as dope.
That's why I'm asking. Right away. Should he?
But the bottom line is, if it's fire, I won't give a damn that it was late. If it's whack, it'll look even whacker because it's late. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not going to be whack. If he does it and it's not anything that, you know, really gets me, then I'm going to be like, damn, you waited and you didn't even really come with it. But if he comes with it, whatever. He came with it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't want any of this subliminal bullshit.
I talked about this on the last pod. Until I heard that Drake's going to put a Pusha diss on there, I figured his album would just be littered with little jabs because that's what Drake does.
Right.
And if you're not going to put out your diss track, you're gonna naturally,
that's what I figured it would be.
As a writer, you're gonna naturally just have that shit in there, even if you're not sitting down trying to, because that shit's on the front of your mind. And you know,
but knowing Drake, it's hard for me to imagine him putting something like that on his album. Like he doesn't dirty up his album with shit like that.
You would think that would be a standalone, but this day and age, he is smart. He's like he likes to do his own thing, and that. But on an
album though, like he reserves album. He made if you're reading this, it's too late, a mixtape.
Yeah,
like because he was so strict about his albums.
Well, and even remember when he left, I think it was 9 a.m. in Dallas off of Take Care, or was it off of Thank Me Later? Might have been Thank Me Later even.
I can't remember.
But it was a super dope song, and I remember him saying afterwards that he was like, I wish I would have put it on there, but it's probably just because it wasn't meant for it. So,
yeah.
But that's the thing. I think if he does it this time, he'll know when he did it, like, do I want that on the album or not? It's not going to be like a last second, well, that was good, let me throw it on the album.
Well, I know.
I think people are less, it's like we talk about on this podcast with classic albums and whatnot. I think this day and age, people are less inclined to really care about, oh, that album was so, you can't dirty it up with this. It's like, if it's dope, people will be like, oh, and that was on it. Right. It might make it even more classic. True. So I think I don't think he's worried about that. What do you think? I guess maybe, unless you got more, this is my last thing on Drake before we move on, because we've already been talking about him for a while. But I mean, he is the biggest thing in music, and he's got an album dropping tonight. So, what do you think about featuring Michael Jackson? Do you have any thoughts on that? And I think 9 a.m. in Dallas was Thank Me Later, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that it was, because I kind of remember that being like way back.
Because like the ride and stuff was Take Care.
Yeah. I get it, but
here's my
I don't like it because it's not it obviously wasn't meant for it.
Here's my thing.
Because a feature verse should be like, that's more like a sample.
Yeah. If they didn't like send you the verse or in the studio with you or whatever, if they're dead and you're just using something of theirs, it's a sample.
It's not featuring.
It's a sample.
Right.
And if it's so much of a sample that you feel the need to call it a feature,
right,
then you're not doing enough on the track.
What one is that?
I don't know. It's just a song on there. Don't Matter to Me.
I'm not even seeing it.
It's on the B-side. Number 10.
Where does it say featuring Michael Jackson?
I got it on mine. I from what I saw, unless I got a wrong track list, he's got a Jay-Z feature, Michael Jackson, and then Ty Dolla $ign and
mine doesn't have any features on it.
Oh.
No. And this is like the official image.
From like OVO?
Yeah.
I think I have one from Drake's Instagram.
That's what this is taken from.
I mean, people Photoshop so many things. It's like you don't even know what to trust anymore.
Well, it's literally like embedded from Drake's Instagram.
So is mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did he like update it?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
I'm about to get.
Oh yeah, he did. He posted 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see the Michael Jackson feature now.
Yep.
So don't you think though, like if you're gonna and I don't know why he did it. Like I said, until it comes out, I'll reserve judgment. But looking at it now, to me, it just means the Michael Jackson sample is huge, is very present and huge in this track.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, just do better. You know what I mean? If you feel the need to make a sample a feature, it's like, it's not enough of you. Or he just thinks, knowing Drake, like I know him personally, but being familiar with Drake and his music and whatnot, he could just, Oh, featuring Michael Jackson. That looks really cool. I'm gonna put it.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other reason for it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's booty cheeks. It's not featuring Michael Jackson. And Refs was featuring Drake.
Yeah, we didn't sample Drake. We featured him.
Right.
He knew he was part of that track.
Yeah,
I'm about to
that
update the Familiar with Floss track list and put that, and then send it to Drake.
That's my last thoughts on Drizzy Drake, Scorpion dropping. It'll be out by the time you guys hear this pod. Unfortunately, we're not gonna be here next week to assess it on the pod because we're taking the holiday off.
We're taking the 4th off, America.
Well, the week of the 4th because it'll actually be the 5th.
Well, it'll be the day after the 4th of July. So,
but yeah,
that we record.
Yeah, that we record. No pod next week, but trust and believe we will be.
It'll give us.
It's gonna be 2 weeks later though.
It'll give us a week to really assess and deep dive.
But 2 weeks because he's dropping it. Like by the time people listen to this pod, the album will be out. Right. So then it's got a whole week and then a whole nother week.
That's what I'm saying.
We can put out another pod.
But that's the thing is we are human beings. We have to have like
we are
a week to assess, and then we record Thursday. It's like a week and a half.
It's 2 weeks. I don't know what you're talking about. It's 2 weeks.
When we put it out, it'll be 2 weeks. Yeah.
But when we record it, it'll be a week and a half, even though we record and put it out a day apart.
Well, it'll be under 2 weeks.
Okay. So I'm right. All right.
Oh my god.
Do you have anything else to talk about with Drake?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Scorpion.
So what about
fucking Scorpion?
Did you see Instagram drop their new app?
Drop their new app?
Instagram TV. It is a new app. It's not just built into the thing.
This is why I'm
it's
glad
actually a
we
new
have this
standalone
podcast,
app.
because you and I don't talk enough now. I saw that shit, and I even saw you post something to the Specktators. I think it was the Like This video.
Yep.
And I was like, what is this? And I've seen people like pop up with it. I haven't been interested enough to even look at it. I'm like, just another thing for me to get used to.
I can't really see it catching on. You want to know why?
Give me the rundown of what it even is. And then
it's literally Instagram's attempt to take over YouTube.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So people have like channels?
Yep.
But is it just associated with your username?
You open it through your username. Okay. So you have to create it.
And can anyone do it?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's, you're not limited to a certain amount of time.
So you could post an hour-long video if you wanted to.
Right.
Interesting.
But it's a pain in the fucking ass with these video editors now to edit in the ratio that a phone is.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I don't even really enjoy watching videos in that ratio. Like it just doesn't even make any sense. Like to watch a long ass video in that ratio, like I can't.
I'll have to start experimenting with, not even experimenting with, just checking that shit out. Because I've seen certain people I follow pop up with whatever on TV, and I'm just like, I don't know.
It's the same way that I feel about like when you look at Snapchat's like different sponsored sections.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've checked it out like twice in my entire time on being on Snapchat, and I'm like, I don't understand why people would like watching these videos. Like it's just not enjoyable for me to watch just because I have to look at it on a narrow ass aspect ratio. It's not even like you can flip it and get a wider thing. It's literally just like your face there's enough room for your face.
Right. Yeah, that's weird. They'll probably fix that somehow.
No, they're literally, they're saying it's mobile first. That's their way of saying, no, we're doing it this way.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll be eating my words in like 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be one of those things like the whole mobile first thing. So it's not necessarily straight up competing with YouTube. It is kind of like its own mobile YouTube thing.
I think most platforms, though, are beginning to figure out that everything is going towards mobile.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe like you said, and want to give it time. Maybe.
But even on my point is,
who'd have thought tweeting out 140 characters of what you thought would catch on as such a big fucking thing?
I mean, I didn't at the time, but I guess my biggest point is, even on the phone, I just don't enjoy watching something that way. Yeah. Like it's just not enjoyable to me. I get like at Twitter. The reason why I didn't like Twitter is because at first was because I was like, I have Facebook. What the fuck do I need this for? Like,
Right.
I can update my status and use 140 characters. Like,
Right.
why? Why do I need
And
this?
also post like a photo with it or whatever. With
Yeah,
it. 'Cause
like-
at first you couldn't post anything except.
But I get the simplicity of it now. This is beyond simplicity. This is like literally the way you interact with the video is different.
Yeah. We'll see though. Shit changes, man.
I don't know. Maybe that's my old man coming out. At
Right.
me
That's
and
what I'm
being
saying.
like-
Shit
And
changes.
I probably will get to the point where this does catch on, and I'm just going to be. It's like Snapchat. I was just never about Snapchat ever.
I wasn't either. I had a period of time where I used it more, but it was just because it was popular, and you know, when you're an artist, you got to use the popular stuff. But I've never really liked Snapchat.
I hate it.
As soon as
still.
Instagram installed their fucking
The stories.
Snapchat
Yeah.
stories, all that type of shit,
Yeah.
I was on it because I hated.
I agree.
Snapchat. Not to mention, most of the reason I use all these social media things is because I'm an artist. Like,
Right.
I don't really use social media to just straight up like. That's why I hate Facebook, because I don't really use it to keep up with my friends.
And it's
stuff.
annoying. Here's the thing. I love Instagram. It's super fucking easy.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's clean. I know where everything is. Same with Twitter. What happened to Facebook? Like, I don't know where anything is anymore. It's so like jumbled and like.
Not to mention,
all of my-
I'm sure it's just some of my settings because I don't give a fuck anymore, and I haven't given a fuck for a
But
while.
why
on
are there
Facebook.
so
But
many
dude,
settings?
I'll randomly sign into Facebook, and I'll have a notification that says like, so and so posted a photo,
Yeah.
and I'll click on it like, did they tag me in it or something like that? And it's not even someone that I ever interact
Yeah.
with. It's like someone I haven't talked
I
to
know.
in 9 years.
I know.
Some random person from high school or something like that. And it's like they posted a photo and it's like them and their kid.
Right.
And I'm like, I got a notification for this?
But what's annoying about that is if you look at Facebook's like settings,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Like when I want to turn off something on Twitter, it's like, 13 things
yeah.
that they give you an option to turn off or turn on. And that's it.
Yeah.
With Facebook, I got to go through 13 pages of different
Yeah, I mean,
shit
that's why
that
Twitter
I'm like,
and Instagram are winning. They're very simple. And as they've expanded with the right things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't
like
overdo
Twitter
it.
allowed you to post photos. They expanded their character limit to still like a reasonable amount. You
Right.
can post video. You can embed things. Like you couldn't do all that shit at the beginning. It was literally post 140 characters.
Right.
That was it.
That was it.
And they've expanded it in the right way where you can still log into Twitter and quickly see what's going on with just a little cooler content now. Yeah, instead of trying to make it
Yeah.
the next Facebook.
Yeah, my
They
two
still kept
favorite
it
apps
simple.
are Instagram and Twitter. Like I would
man,
rather
you and
not
everybody
even
else.
touch any of that
Yeah.
other shit. Like it's stupid.
Yeah.
I love Twitter just because it's so fucking
Well, and that was
simple.
the thing, like I was getting at when I say I use these because it's like, my business and I want to talk to the fans and stuff like that is, yeah, Snapchat, you could do that, but it was never, you were never building anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Twitter, as a public figure, you want to build a following. Instagram,
Right.
you want to build a following. Snapchat, you could build a following. Like, I guess you could be DJ Khaled, but anyone else, it's like, you might have a following or whatever, but it's not benefiting. It's not benefiting you because nobody knows.
Yeah, and I don't know. There was just something about Snapchat that I just found
It's benefiting
really
you because you can
annoying.
talk to fans, which is cool. Like, I don't want to, that's cool. But
Yeah.
as far as publicly outside of that to use it to push something else, unless you're massive on it, it's not doing
Yeah.
anything for you.
I don't know. There's something about like just the written word or like a picture, I guess, or like Snapchat was too like video, like chatty to me. I didn't really like.
And now people just use it for their filters and then post them on Instagram.
Those damn filters. Get them out of here.
So, what do you think about this? You heard about this, right?
The song?
Make sure you play a bunch of sound effects. This is not Childish Gambino. This is Childish Gambino.
I mean,
broke all my chains. Money's my language, but I'm nobody's slave.
it's similar for sure. And the thing that kind of puts me over the edge on it is the lyrical content.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was the same beat and everything, I could be like, okay, dude, like, it's the same argument that I always use. There's only so many there's only so many sounds. There's only so many ways to put things together. Yes, sometimes people end up creating things that are very similar without even knowing that they're doing it.
Yeah.
But when you're using the same lyrical content, that's a little bit too much of a coincidence for me to like.
Yeah. So where I stand with this one, because every one of these is a little bit different. No one can tell me that Childish Gambino or whoever was in that room making this song
Never heard that.
heard this.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that. It was definitely inspired by this shit.
Yeah. Agree.
Was it copied? Was it stolen? No, I don't think so. Maybe even copied, but not try. They didn't try to copy it exactly. It wasn't stolen.
It was inspired by.
So, Childish Gambino's management tweeted after it became kind of a shitstorm on the internet.
Mm.
The internet is a place of no consequences. I hate that Toronto academics, every white blogger can say something as gospel and y'all take it. This song is 3 years old and we have Pro Tools files to prove it. But fuck you and your moms and your future fetuses. Stay blessed. Definitely very angry. But so when I saw that, I was like, okay, I never doubted that you guys created it.
Irrelevant.
I like, you didn't rip the fucking beat.
Right.
You created it. That doesn't mean anything.
It's
that you have the
irrelevant.
Pro Tools files.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
I guess the only thing he might be saying though is
That song came out in 2016. That's
Right.
what he's saying. So
wait. That the Childish's, is he saying when he says this song is 3 years old, is he talking about the Pro Tools files that they have?
Yes. That's what I'm assuming that he's trying to
So
do.
he's claiming that they had all those Pro Tools files and shit before 2016 when this other track was posted.
But what we don't know is what went on in the background though. Like, who created this beat? Was it on another thing before it actually got made into a song or what?
Yeah, who knows? It's just, yeah, I don't know what went on in the background. All I know is the content of that song matched with the beat.
Right.
It's just
Like
way too much of a coincidence.
That's too much of a coincidence for me to think otherwise. Like, dude, all these musicians, like, it's so funny because I can't even fathom it, but I just know that it's happening. And because I've heard it from a lot of people, we kind of stay in our own little box over here at the collective. Dude, musicians out west, you never know who the hell is sharing what and like who is passing on. Dude, hard drives get passed along daily to like different people without it being officially posted to SoundCloud or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know if he would have heard it unofficially.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah. And I guess my thing, and it sounds like the guy who's Jace Harley, I think is his name. Sounds like he's being really cool.
Yeah, he is.
Which is dope. That's what you like to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Childish still made a really dope song and video, and it is what it is. Like, I'm glad this situation can be what it is and not involve like a lawsuit and all this other shit.
Right.
I guess though, okay, as much as me looking at this as a third party and I'm like, yes, 100% it had to be inspired by it.
Agreed.
The only percentage chance that so I'll say 99% it had to be inspired. The only way it wasn't is if somehow this other dude got wind of Childish's version before and he made it. Because one or the other had to happen. They're just way too similar.
Yeah. True.
So those are the only ways. What if you were this other guy, though? What if you were this Jace Harley dude and then you heard this Childish Gambino shit, whatever? How would you actually feel? Because he's handling it very cool. If it was me, though, I feel like I would be out here being like, well, so-and-so big name just stole my song. Even if they didn't, because I'm sitting here saying he didn't steal the song. He was inspired by it and he made a dangerously close version. But if it was me I'd be like, he stole my shit.
I don't know.
And like you said, mainly because of the content. I don't think the videos I was seeing, oh, the flow is similar. I don't think the flow is similar enough to make it anything. I don't think even you hear that one sound in the beat that's very similar. But other than that, it's like, okay, I can deal with it. If he would have made it about something completely different, I wouldn't have had any issue at all.
I probably would have called attention to it. I don't know if I would have. I guess I would have just let the internet judge it, and then just have been like, if they think that.
But you would have, but you would have put it out like, yeah, you might not have come out and said he stole my song, but you would post a comparison.
I think it needs to be known.
Yeah, you would post a comparison, and in your head you would be like, everyone's about to see that he stole my song.
Yeah, for sure.
That's weird, man.
But and the only way that I would do that would be if I knew, like, somehow my song got like there was a possibility that my song got around without it being on SoundCloud, because you know that they're going to have some sort of thing to refute that if it didn't.
Yeah, what are you saying though?
Like,
I get what you're saying.
For example, like
song's getting around, I get that, but what are you saying?
For example, the rebuttal that they had,
his management,
about the beat being made before the SoundCloud link got posted. Like, I'd probably make damn sure that there was a way other than like them just randomly finding my song on SoundCloud and wanting to copy that. Like, I don't know. That's kind of like a little bit. I find it more likely that this got passed around.
Childish's or the original?
The original as a demo.
Mm.
But I don't know the background of the song.
But I agree with you. That's possible. And like I said,
I think it's way more possible than Childish finding the song on SoundCloud.
Right. And like I said, I'll leave room for Childish's version being first and this other guy somehow getting wind of it. But the reason I give it such a small percentage chance is that that's something I would probably say if I was associated with Childish trying to refute this shit.
Yeah.
I would probably throw that out there. Like, we had this shit made and it was floated around. So like, I would add that caveat.
Oh, yeah. If you were,
but if you have the Pro Tools sessions, and Childish Gambino's very good about keeping his shit tight.
Yeah.
Like, when he does anything, rarely do people know about it ahead of time.
I find it hard to believe that his version got leaked out. Like, they
had this for 3 years, and all of a sudden this video dropped.
Dude,
yeah.
Like, I don't buy.
So yeah, that's.
I buy way more that an aspiring musician was doing whatever he could to get his music out there. I mean, it's a common practice for aspiring musicians that are actually making music and putting stuff out, also submitting their shit as demos to more popular artists.
Yeah, for sure.
And it is actually a practice, and it's a shame that it is, but it happens a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
That artists hear demos from Joe Schmo artist and just rip the shit out of it and don't ever give them credit or pay them for it.
Yeah. Bro, I have, and I this didn't happen with me, but it makes you think about it. I sent a song to Futuristic to see if he would get on it. And soon after that, like a couple weeks, he drops this song with a video that's a very similar topic. But that's what I'm saying. He didn't do it because there's no way he put this video and song together in that amount of time. So I'm not accusing him of doing that. But it's that type of shit that makes you think bigger artists could do that. Imagine how many smaller artists are looking at are looking to get their shit out there to these bigger artists. So imagine how their inboxes are flooded with stuff.
Yeah.
They could easily rip stuff off.
Well, that's the thing. It's the dream in LA. Like, these people would settle to write or produce or whatever for these people, and they're just looking for something to latch.
Right.
But the thing is, they don't know how many times that people hear their demos and they're inspired by it.
And let me reiterate, Futuristic did not do that with me. And the topic wasn't some crazy weird topic that like he definitely came up with and did all this shit himself. It just happened to be the same type of thing. Yeah. But it makes you think about that.
Normally these things, like, It happens with very, very small artists that are literally so desperate to get their music out there that they're sending demos wherever, whenever. And it takes a long time for them to realize.
Dude, it's too bad when you think about that shit too, because these artists send that shit out and they're like, man, there's a 1 in a million chance that this shit is dope enough and actually gets to the right ears. And when that shit gets copied like that, it is dope enough. It did get to the right ears, but they didn't want to involve you.
Right.
That's fucking shitty, man.
Yeah.
That's shitty.
It's not right. Like, that's the thing is that's why when you're doing that,
that's why you
shit,
even
you need a good agent, because you're
honestly,
gonna get fucked.
Dude, that's
every
why
time.
when you're Drake and you are a pop star, and so if there were real rap records that like lyrical records that someone else was writing for him, I'd have an issue. But when you are Drake, that's good for you for taking a Quentin Miller song and doing it yourself and paying the man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got 40, dude. You could easily recreate shit, bury someone in lawyer fees even if they want to sue you, and you'd be fine.
Right. Well, that's what all these artists do.
Yeah, but shit, take his shit and pay him.
But that's why I'm saying, like, if that happened to me, dude, like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, you can't do shit.
I would rather keep the relationship with the artist. Like, hopefully,
if you could, but
hopefully karma somehow
right.
graces me with like
and
sort of
you
good
look at
fortune.
an artist like Childish Gambino, you think possibly he's got that type of
like
mentality.
Exactly. Like,
if he knows in his heart of heart he was inspired by that hill, and even if he doesn't, even if he wants to front like he wasn't, or nobody in the room was, whatever, like he still might be like, you handled that cool. Let me, whatever.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, like, maybe Childish didn't even hear about this shit or whatever, but someone in that room who was creating the beat or gave him the idea
into the situation.
Yeah, somehow.
I don't fucking know, but that's what I'm saying is I think you just kind of got to be like, well, hopefully somebody does the right thing in that situation, or it is what it is.
Yep, I'm with you.
Dope. I got a lot of topics that I
don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
So right before
I didn't even know the BET Awards happened, so that's dope.
I don't care. I heard it was kind of weird. I heard Jamie Foxx was freestyling a lot.
Like, I literally heard nothing about it until yesterday.
Right before I came here, so I do a bad job of checking out my Instagram DMs. Like, I have the ones that I've already allowed, so I check those out. I get notified of a lot of those, whatever. But the ones that I have to go allow, I rarely check, which I should, and I want to make a more considered effort.
I definitely don't check any of those. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I want to make a more concerted effort to do that shit, but I did it for a second today, and the very first one was the one I just posted on Twitter. Because it literally, I posted it at 5:34, and this message was at 5:04. So it was the very first one that was up there. And it was ass whack rapper, and I was like, what? I'm not even sure if this guy's trying to be mean or if he's a compliment. So let me click on this, and it goes August 9th, 2017. What's the difference between you and Russ? He finally blew up after 10 years. Sleeping emoji. Fast forward like 5 months, February 19th, 2018. Joel has more fame and clout than you. And then fast forward another like 4 or 5 months, ass whack rapper. None of these, I'd never seen any of these, responded to any of these. Like, what are people doing these days? I mean, it's funny, it provides entertainment, but what sucks is I read that one. I've been busy today. I read that one and I was just like, okay, I don't need to go through these, but I do want to, because I know I've done it before, and I know like 95% of that shit is like actually really cool stuff, and the fans think through stuff and want to talk to me. And Instagram is actually one of the best ways to do that. I like to do it on Twitter because I like the publicity of it. Like, I like that everything is just out there, whereas DMs are a cool way to just talk to fans. So I want to do better on that, but I just thought that was funny that was because 95% of them are really cool and positive and whatever, but that was the very first one I saw. And that shit will never, Like that's not the first time I've seen shit like that, but it's just funny when that people will check, it's been about 4 or 5 months. Let me hate on Paggy again. Dude, even though he hasn't even seen the other ones that I've sent, let me just do it again.
Kids these days do not have hobbies. I'm pretty much convinced. Like it's beginning to make me sad. How many negative comments there are, not only on our like social media channels, but like just in general. Like,
yeah,
what in the hell? Are parents just not doing their jobs? Like, get your kids off of computers.
It's just so weird.
What happened to playing outside? Like, what happened to that?
Well, and you like those type of people are the people that they see you in person. They're like, oh man, like big fan of your music.
But I have to imagine that these are like middle school kids, because what adult just sits there?
Right. No, it probably is.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are some really fucked up adults that are doing that shit too, but you have to assume that these are immature middle school.
Yeah,
like maybe high school. Like
it's either
do something.
It's either an immature thing or it's just a sad thing. Like not even to not even to come at it from like a high horse type perspective or like whatever, but it's impossible not to when you think about it. It's like
horse?
No. I'm saying from this perspective of anytime I think about that type of shit, I try to put myself in the mindset of these people. Like I log on to Instagram. I don't even know if he follows me. But the way he talks to me, I would guess he doesn't follow me. Why would you want to be bombarded with somebody that you don't?
So that you can hate.
Yeah, but either way, you follow me, you don't follow me. Following somebody that you hate is weird. And B, if you don't follow me, you specifically go to my page and send out a DM. I don't see it or respond to it. 5 months later, you do it again. I don't see it or respond to it. 5 months later, you do it again. What is, these people have sad lives, man.
It's their hobby.
It's so
like,
sad.
It's literally their hobby.
It's weird.
To go, it's not only you. Like they're hating.
Trust me, I know.
They're hating. They're literally just professional haters. Like that's what, and they love to do it.
What do you get out of that?
You're filling your time. It's the same thing that a hobby does.
To me, like if I got faded and like did that one night, I would wake up the next morning and be like, damn, I just sent Drake a fuck you DM last night. And
imagine how many fuck you DMs Drake gets.
Oh, I know. And he's never saw it. I would still feel like I'm a piece of shit. Like what? That's what I do with my time.
But what the fuck? Like, what goes through somebody's head? I don't understand.
It's like when you know, if you send the drunk text to a girl or something like that, and you wake up the next morning and you're like, even if nothing bad happened from it, you're just like, I wish I didn't do that.
Well, it's like a shame. I'm like trying to think of like back to like my younger days, and it's like I think social media like has spun out of control to the point where it gives too many people a voice, to the point where they don't even feel like they need to do anything to change the environment. Like if they don't like what's out there, like for people growing up in our generation, what did you do when you didn't like something? You couldn't go log on to Twitter and be like, fuck you. Like all you could do is be like, well, I'm going to do something to change that eventually at some point.
Yeah.
Like that's what you did. Or you just suck it up and move on.
Yeah.
But if you really hated something like that, you would put all your energy into the hate to do something else that was beneficial.
Right.
Nowadays, it's too easy to go on Twitter and be like, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. And then you feel like you actually did something. When in reality, but that's the thing, me and you can't relate to it because we were brought up in that.
Yeah, that's true. It is a different age, and I guess I try to remember that.
But PSA children of the world, don't do that shit.
Well, I just think our
do
age,
something
and
else.
I hope it's not an age thing, but
that's the only way I can wrap my head around it.
Think about it from an age thing of, dude, you don't say shit online that you wouldn't say in person. And you just know all these people that are saying fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you online would never say it.
But that definitely is a generational thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, whatever. It provides entertainment. That's for sure.
It's not. Oh my God, dude. Some of these comments are.
But that's why I want to make sure I do a better job of going through and like talking to the fans through that shit, because the last thing I want to do is like pay attention to the 2% of bullshit in there and then like ignore the good shit, because there's so much good shit in there, and I do appreciate all that stuff. So I want to do better on that.
Yeah. Kids need hobbies. They need hobbies.
I liked you because I just posted it because I thought it was funny, and then I saw your response on Twitter like, these fucking kids need hobbies.
They do.
So somebody's in my Twitter mentions like, Moti needs to go on a rant on the pod because of this.
Dude, it literally is infuriating. Like I know that the online generation, the strictly when I know a world with Twitter and nothing else generation literally doesn't have lives.
Well, not only do I,
and they think they do.
Not only do I go by the principle of if you wouldn't say something to somebody in person, don't say it online. I also, and this isn't necessarily like a great principle to live by, but I tend to think about this when I do things and why I even hesitate to even having this podcast and having to critique other artists and do that type of thing. I hesitate with that just because when I'm doing anything, I feel weird about critiquing something that I haven't done or I haven't gotten there. Like, so I say that because of like the whole, you're not as popular, you're not whatever. Okay, what are you? You know what I'm saying? So but that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't necessarily live your life like that, because it's like, okay, if I want to critique, I can critique LeBron James, but
you don't have to be a politician to talk politics.
Right,
like,
exactly. But it's something like you should think about in general when you do stuff.
It's just why? Like
it's the whole, when we started doing music, you'd get all these, I wrote opinions about that shit. Like,
yeah,
someone wants to tell you, but I guess that was different because a lot of times when you're starting out in music and you're coming up, everybody wants to be a rapper.
Yeah.
So it's all these people that want to be rappers telling you how to be a rapper when you're actually further along than that.
Right.
And that's a different story.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I guess I just look at it like it's not like politics or anything that really matters. We're talking about music. Like, and if you don't like music, there's plenty of other music that you can move on to and like.
Yeah.
Like,
well, but even that's why it's just funny though. It's like you have to, what did he even say in it though? Nothing was even like your music is garbage, which I would take as more. It was like,
he said ass whack rapper.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But he was like something about like clout, and I was like, is this dude just trying to be funny? Like, okay, I don't have clout, bro. Thank God.
Sweet. You really got me there.
Yeah, what the
boom. Roasted.
That shit's funny, man. Hopefully when I dig through the DMs, I'll find more funny shit.
I have to rant about one thing.
Okay.
And I guess I was pertaining this to independent artists, but it kind of fits with everybody. And it's kind of been on my mind a lot, is this, especially this generation, but a lot of people, I think this is a big just epidemic in general.
Okay.
Just because someone else has something doesn't mean you have to have it too. Like, or even strive for it. Like, if you want it, that's great, but don't go above and beyond your means to make it happen, because you will undoubtedly lose perspective on everything else that you're doing and get yourself into a lot of fucking trouble. Live and do things within your means. You don't need to have what everybody else has right away, and you don't even need to strive for it right away. Baby steps. You don't need to do it. You don't need to take 6 steps at a time. Do one, make sure you actually did it, and move on to the next thing. Don't look to somebody that you think is in your lane and try to strive to do that. That is a bad idea, and that will cause you to make bad decisions.
Yeah, success is a process.
And dude, just focus on your yard. Do not look over at your neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, it really does piss me off. And I think it is a very, especially like we talk about it all the time with social media, but you see it. It's right in front of you. You know what other artists are doing. You know what other colleagues are doing. You know what your neighbors are doing. Try your best to just say good for you and focus on you.
Yeah. Let it inspire you from a work ethic standpoint.
Right.
But not a what to do standpoint.
Right. Do you. That is a real statement.
Yeah,
but,
and maybe doing
but
something...
don't make you your neighbors.
Yeah, maybe doing something similar to somebody else is actually beneficial to you, but make sure before you...
Well, tailor it.
Right, exactly.
Nothing, you cannot take somebody else's blueprint and make it your own.
Right.
Tailor the blueprint.
Right.
If you're literally taking a carbon copy of somebody else's blueprint, you will fail.
Yeah.
Because you are not them.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, we do that a lot ourselves with the Spectator. We're a relatively unique thing, the Spectators.
Right.
You know, what we have, you even look at, you could look at something as basic as a lot of artists make their money on tour. We could look at that and be like, man, tour life looks amazing. They say artists make their money on tours. We really got to get on the road.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
We look at our numbers and where we have success and what makes us go and pros and cons of things, and it's like, really, that's not where it's at for us. Now, doesn't mean we hitting the road wouldn't be beneficial or any of that. No. Like, I still want to hit the road and do all that shit, but it's not. You look at these I'll look at articles and it's like that's the headline.
Yeah.
You know, touring is where the money's at. Yeah, there's money there, but not for everybody.
In a certain circumstance, for sure.
Like, yeah, not for everybody.
Not for everybody. Not for a lot of situations. There's not. And the other thing too,
or not that it's even not there. Like, I could go on the road and make money, but it's better somewhere. Like, it's better for
your
me to
time is better spent somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I know we're making this pertain to music, but it fits in a lot of different places as far as you have to be careful who you're looking at as far as like even like an article like that, or it's all the time, even in just everyday regular life. Like, you have a friend that has a dope apartment. Okay. And you really want that apartment. And you say, well, my life is the same as this guy's. Like, why can't I have this apartment? Do you really know that if your buddy over there with the dope ass apartment is really living the life that thinks that he's living? Or is he so far in debt up to his eyeballs that he can't even breathe when he goes to sleep?
Well, or the same type of thing, but also, do you really know everything he's like? Maybe he has,
or it could be the other thing. Yeah,
maybe he's got a trust fund, or maybe he's got whatever.
Exactly.
Maybe he doesn't have the exact same situation.
Exactly. It doesn't always have to be negative. You're right. It could be something positive, but it's something you definitely don't have. Either way. Yeah.
No, and I'm even as I get older, I keep trying to focus on that more and more too. And dude, one of my biggest things is, like, I go out to eat all the time. And that shit gets expensive, man. And by the time I look back at my, monthly bill or whatever, I'm like, man, I don't have the money to just be eating out every fucking day and going out and having drinks and all this shit. It's like, I look at people that, like the older generation that has money and stuff, and it's like, they didn't do that shit when they were my age. And that's just obviously an example, but
the thing is, they didn't need the new clothes. They didn't need the new shoes. They didn't need to go out to eat every day. They didn't need to do all of that stuff. Like,
$50 here adds up, man.
Yeah. And I'm not even really talking, I don't want to just make it seem like I'm talking about money, because it's not just money, but it is just everyday aspects of every little thing you look on at another person.
Yeah.
And you say, I want to be that.
Right. That job is amazing and makes this person super happy. Well, maybe it wouldn't make you super happy.
Right.
Think about what it
or that job sucks, but that person's really happy in it.
Right.
Like, you're assuming that it sucks.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't want to do it doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Do you. Like, don't try to be
truly
like
you. Don't think that you is somebody else.
Right.
Because that's where we get trapped.
Don't make yourself into something that you're not.
I think where the problem is it's like you relate to somebody on Instagram and you're like, that person really gets me. We're literally the same. And you go tailor your life to that person, you failed already.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you, bro. Preach.
But yeah, that shit really gets to me.
Speaking of that, my broke ass is going to Spain.
Boom!
Is that why you talked about this?
Yeah, stop living the life. Stop living the life that who goes to Spain a lot.
It's definitely I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for one of my best friends getting married. So going over there for my boy Matt Sleeve's wedding. I'm in the wedding. I'm gonna be singing "Delirious" as their first song.
Oh yeah,
for the first dance. So I'm excited for that.
That's what's up. That's
but yeah, so leaving bright and early Saturday, actually flying out of New York. So I will be there I'll be gone for about 10 days, really.
Wow.
So you're going to have to hold down the fort.
Well, when are you back?
I'll be back in Michigan the 10th.
Okay.
I believe.
What day is that?
Couldn't tell you.
Before the podcast, right?
Before that.
The next podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I care about. Okay, well, I don't care about the World Cup, and I don't care
if we have any
about the BET Awards.
If we have any listeners in Spain, holler at me. Let's link up. Any videographers want to shoot a Delirious music video while I sing that shit for the wedding? Just take over the wedding. Sorry, we got to run that back. Dance just like you did that first time.
Right. You should just have a bunch of people pull out their iPhones and we can stitch them all together afterwards. Do that.
Okay.
Is that all the topics you have?
That's it. It's good to have you back. All that shit.
Okay. Well, do we have? We had a couple good voicemails, so I'm gonna play them. They got.
Gotta get out of here.
Well, they got stacked up from last week, so we got to play them. There's just two because I already went through them.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ernie from Baltimore, Maryland. I've been a big fan of you guys for a long time, guys. My question to you guys is, I'm a cook. I'm a cook myself, chef, graduated culinary school. So I like the idea of people's looking food. So my question is, out of everywhere you have traveled, what is one spot? What is one spot that you guys have to recommend for people to try, like a burger joint, a taco joint, a pizza joint, and what did you have there? I'd love to know. And yeah, guys, love you guys for doing what you're doing. Love the podcast. Keep it up. And
appreciate the support.
Yeah, good luck. I like that question too. He said he was from Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
I remember having good seafood in Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah, where do we go there?
Dude, that's the thing. I thought at first he was going to talk about like an area of the country, like a city, and he wants an actual joint, which is good. And I'm having trouble.
Dude, we ate at what?
Go ahead.
No, we ate. I was just going to say we ate at so many places while we were on tour that I literally can't remember what they were called. I remember what I ate.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what any of the places were called.
Do you remember any cities or anything? Well, something that just hit me because I said seafood for Baltimore. I don't remember.
What joint did we eat in Florida?
Pensacola.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Where was? Yeah.
It's probably like Pensacola isn't huge. It was right on the water.
Man, what did I have there? I had
I don't even remember what I had, to be honest, but it was really fucking good.
Yeah, it was some fish.
And it was a dope spot right on the water.
It was amazing.
That
was some of the best.
I could probably
I've ever
find
had.
the name of that and put it in the comments or something.
Yeah, it was right on the water.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
Danny might remember. I know he loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
I'm trying to think. That one stands out to me for sure. And that's funny that you mentioned it too, because that was the one that stood out to me.
There's a lot of times on tour though that we luck out too. Like we pick just a random joint and we end up really liking it. But that's the reason why we probably can't remember what the name was, because we were in such a rush to just find somewhere that.
Worst meal I ever had was at a diner in New Jersey.
Yeah, that was bad. Dude, do you remember when we went to New York and we were so hungry for pizza and we just went to the first pizza joint that we could find that was open and it was really good.
Yeah, but
and the pizza was fucking huge.
New York pizza.
Well, I know, but we looked ridiculous carrying that shit down.
Yeah, because we had to carry it home. We weren't in the car. St. Louis has good barbecue, like barbecue pulled pork.
Oh yeah, we went to a really
and
good
actually
place
that's funny. The only one I remember, I don't even remember going to a really good place there. I remember doing our show, going to put our shit in either the van or the hotel or whatever, and going out afterwards.
Yeah.
And at the entrance to this like bar, club, whatever the fuck it was, there was like a tent, but it wasn't like on the side. You actually had to go through this to go in. And someone was just on the side, like with a grill.
Was that in St. Louis?
And they had barbecue pulled pork. Yeah.
Oh.
And it was really.
You don't remember the barbecue
just,
place we went to for lunch?
Nah.
Someone recommended us a barbecue place to go to lunch.
I just know that one was really good. And I don't know if it was because I was like a little buzzed from already having a few drinks and like hadn't eaten in a long time and it just tasted
yeah, because
I wasn't expecting it and it tasted
I didn't have
so
any
good.
of that. And you and Danny were like all about
it
that
was
shit.
Good as hell, man.
All right, next question.
Hey y'all, it's Alfredo from Texas. Hope everything's going well. I was wondering what y'all thought about the importance of a good track list is. After the whole Kids See Ghost track list mishap on Spotify, I actually listened to it before it was corrected, and it kind of changed the way I felt about it after the track list was corrected. But yeah, how important is making the right order for a track list for your projects? Or do y'all not think it's that big of a deal? Love the podcast. See ya.
I think it's really important, and I think that Kids See Ghosts is a good example of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly, to take it even bigger picture, it's why, and I think even our artists that we sign probably get fed up with Mo and I sometimes on stressing the details. Like, it seems like so often when we talk to the guys, especially the newer guys that are learning the ropes around here and stuff, it's like the little details matter.
Right.
And I think as an artist, you're a creative person, you're just like, oh, I want to do the fun stuff. But it's stuff like that, or if something goes wrong with an upload or whatever, it can really affect how something is consumed, whether it sees the right eyes, whether it sees the same amount of eyes, whether it's, like you said, whether you even like the product because it was not displayed correctly, whether you like it as much. So, yeah, I think.
Well, even how the project feels too. It's like I remember making the parlay and spending like a month on like just playing around with the order of the tracks and what we wanted to cut and everything like that. Like we took our time with that. And I remember even creating tracks that like, you know, creating a track that was specifically an intro track and specifically an outro track.
That's what I was just going to get at is, and Matt, yeah, some of the in-between stuff to your average fan probably isn't that big of a deal. But imagine not having the intro track as the intro.
Right.
Especially for
or like, even the rise and fall of the album, like it, it definitely does like do something.
I can say, like, I'm a lyrical rapper, right? So I like to actually talk about shit.
Right.
I can't imagine having my shit come out in the wrong order.
No.
Like, yeah, if you're just if you're a mumble rapper that's not actually talking about shit and you don't have, you know, a real intro track and a real outro track with like the content wise,
yeah, it's
probably less of a deal.
Yeah. Agreed.
It still matter because, like you said, the flow and the rise and fall of an album, just even production wise. But especially for some like a lyrical rapper, I was talking to Apollo the other day. I love writing intros and outros.
Yeah,
because it's a very specific. You want to set the tone. You want to leave it like it's very specific.
Right. And
I love it. And so if my shit came out without the right order, I'd be so sad, man.
Yeah, that'd be shitty. I just even because. I remember that was a debate.
Oh yeah,
like we even had all the guys, like everybody that was living with us. Like,
I remember because
have a vote.
I remember sitting around the table
and all of us debated,
and I was glad because I think everyone came around more to
kind of on the same page.
Everyone was kind of on the same page first because everyone just came together and made a track list, and everyone had certain ones that were very
in the
like
same
flag,
spot.
you know, flagpoles in there.
Yeah.
But I remember there were a few that, and I had the advantage of convincing because I wrote the songs. So I was able to be like, well, see, this flows to this because, and I think like you, Bruce, and Chris were like, oh yeah, I could see that now. Yeah. And we ended up voting. But yeah.
I think the only one that you lost out on was including Groovy Chick in the project.
Yeah. I didn't want to have Groovy Chick in there.
But we all vetoed you.
I still don't think it flows. But
the thing is, what was crazy is I think we all vetoed El Capitan and The Difference.
No, we didn't. Those weren't done.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. They were going to be on there. But we wanted 12 songs. Yeah.
There's 13 on the project.
Or 13, I mean. We wanted 12. That's what it was. We wanted 12, but then Groovy Chick, you got vetoed on, so it ended up being 13.
That's funny.
But
I didn't remember that El Capitan and The Difference were part of the process.
Yeah, because then we immediately went on tour, remember? And they were already done.
Oh, that's true. They would have had to be done, yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. Dope. So there were actually more songs that were done for the parlay that didn't make it onto the parlay.
I like those questions. Those are good questions.
Yeah. Handpicked them myself.
Okay. You get paid for that?
And that concludes the Specktators podcast.
You got payola for this shit?
Okay, reminder, no podcast next week. So don't get pissed when there's not one up.
I know you guys are all really disappointed about that.
Super disappointed. I'm outroing to Terrified. Did you already use that?
I'm a big fan of this song.
You didn't use this, right?
Artist is an ass whack rapper.
Garbage.
I don't know if I used this or not. I didn't. No, I used old shit last week. I used Last of the Real Ones and Plan Accordingly. New shit dropping from the Spec. New Joey Alana next week. New Cyrus next week.
I wish that you could be fine just for me.
New Cyrus soon.
Bad just
New
for
Packy
me.
very soon. Hopefully next
Do all
week.
the things you doing for attention, but only get that shit from me. Don't get me wrong, you deserve it, girl. Everybody know your body perfect, girl. Please don't let them see behind the curtains, girl. Don't tell me you don't do that shit to me on purpose sometimes. Do that to me on purpose sometimes. You keep running circles round my mind. I keep jumping hurdles every time for you. We so track and field, we so back and forth. When I think I'm done, I come back for more. Yeah. I always come back for more. Yeah. Do we play too much? Are we too far gone? Are we gonna screw this up? Have we been through too much? Is anything